Good morning, everybody, guys. Daryl Steed here with Smartwolf Consulting. Coming to you guys on site, the Night Auto Mall Buying Center, doing some work today for them and some training. And it's Tuesday, October 8th. We got 1 week into October. Things are going great. And wanted to kind of come to you guys with, again, more of those insights, tips, and tricks. And today is about consistency. So I am super pumped and excited. I'm actually flying out tomorrow morning to meet my coach, Daniil Delgado, and going over how to grow the business and getting more clients, and obviously the next step in the evolution of Smartwolf Consulting and coaching. And it's, pretty exciting time, but it really came down to like what to talk about today, what to discuss. And what I thought was probably the most prevalent and the best situation was consistency. So I have some partnerships and stuff that I do with clients and companies, and we were talking to one today. And he was just asking questions about like, well, why do you do this and how do I go about this? And so we walked through a situation, and what I explained to him, which is pretty interesting because it's the core of the Smartwolf strategies, is people, process, and pay plans is the process, right? Step 2. And that's consistency. And you see it with sales models all the time. Is they have a bad month, so what do? They react. There's no proactive nature to the automobile business as a whole. Is that we are reactive in decisions because we didn't plant the right seeds, we didn't have the right consistency moving forward. And what I thought interesting about this is I told him, I said, most of the time we want to be great at something, we want to be the best. And when it comes to buying centers, it's just not one of those things that's necessary in today's dynamic yet. And why is it not necessary? Because most people, when they go after or they start a new business, is they're not consistent. They don't see it through time. So they start here, and then they have one bad month, and then they change everything, and then they start moving forward, and they can't figure out what they're doing. Consistency has to start here, and you have to do the same thing that you can track, measure, and manage so that you can get a baseline of where you're at, what you're doing, and what's working. And then once you've got that foundation, then you make small tweaks. You don't make big adjustments. Big adjustments are when you're basically redesigning, reformatting, redoing. But consistency is where buying centers need to live, and the acquisition strategy. I hear all the time we want to get away from the auctions, but then when they don't put the right time and effort in, or they're not consistent after 90 days, they're like, oh, well, that didn't work. What didn't work? Your work ethic, your drive, your consistency, your process. You don't even know what you have because you haven't actually developed anything and ran its course. I prescribe to the fact that it takes anything, a bare minimum of 1 year to find out what's working, what's not working, just because of the cyclic rate of the market. And you need to know what works during the busy times and what you have to adjust during the slower times and make adjustments from there. But I would say in buying centers, it could take up to 18 months to 2 years because that first year you're building your team, you're figuring out what you want to do, your strategy, whether it be pricing, experience, things of that nature, and you have to be consistent with that. So I challenge everybody when that consistency is, ask yourself this question: how consistent you are to the process. First, do you have one? Is it written? Can it be understood? 2, how consistent are you with it? Is it consistent in the sense it gets done every single day? There is no gray area in the sense of we follow these things. There can be gray areas in a situation, but there cannot be gray areas in a process because then it's a guideline. A process is something that gets done every single time. So that there is no misinterpretation of when you follow it and when you don't. And that's where it comes into consistency. Are you building something that is going to be long-term, or are you building something that you're going to attempt? And I don't say the word try because I think the word try is an excuse to fail or to accept failure. And if you got the chance to read my ebook, try is a mental state, it is not an actual action. So if you're going to make an attempt, okay, however, if it's, half-ass, or if you actually put full effort into it, or are you actually building something that you're going to see it through and make it work? You can really look at this as a small business owner. When a small business owner opens a business, whether it be a restaurant, consulting agency, real estate licensing, whatever it may be, is when they go out to it, they don't sit there and say, well, maybe I'll do this, maybe not. Like, no, they're all in. They have to make this work. And if they don't, they have to go back to the drawing board and they have to refigure out what they're going to do with their life if that fails. What they don't do is make a half-ass attempt or not consistent. They're consistent of what they're doing, and the ones that are succeeding are the ones that are consistent And they've planned out way before they started, they've planted the seeds of what's going to happen, and they can sustain the slow times as they're building a foundation. The ones that aren't consistent, one, didn't plant the right seeds, so they don't have enough cash flow or anything else to make it work. But two, then they're not consistent, so they're constantly making reactive decisions rather than being proactive to what's coming, planning for the future, planning for what you want rather than where you're at. So we talk about that today. Quick little conversation about it. Would love to have more conversations about that with consistency. That is what I deliver with Smartwolf Consulting. I'm like a super accountability coach. Consistency, because I'm going to build something for you that lasts the test of time with acquisition strategies, trade-in processes, coaching and developing teams and management teams. But I'm not going to be reactive to things. We're going to plan for the future and plant the right seeds. So though we may not see what happens today, we're building those seeds for what happens tomorrow. And as I'm growing my business, I'm hoping that more people are watching this and reacting to this, because if you're looking for a change, if you're looking to improve, if you're looking for a different way of doing things for different results than what you've been getting, and when I say different, I'm always looking for better. But sometimes different is where we start. Then please give me an opportunity, sorry about that, to bring Smartwolf Consulting on with your guys' organization. I have a dozen stores and 6 different clients with a dozen stores, and they are all having great success. I am looking to grow and show more people, obviously, this type of coaching and strategies. And I know that that's something that most stores are looking for. So the time is now. Take the leap, take the change. But whatever you end up doing, be consistent with what you're doing. Don't go into it that you are going to make a piss poor half-ass attempt, or some people might even say the word try, because if you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and accept failure. And then we're going to leave it with the last thing, which is another thing that is one of our mottos here at Smartwolf Consulting is, the word procrastination. Today's the day, do it now. Do it all the way. But procrastination, that is the beginning of failure and the start of mediocrity. So just keep in mind, if you keep procrastinating and saying, oh, maybe next time, maybe later, maybe, what you're doing is you're already starting to fail, and you're creating a dynamic of doing things mediocre. And being average at best. I don't think anyone wants to be there, so let's be consistent. Let's make that change. Let's do it together. Have a great day and talk to you soon.